Good morning. Welcome to our City of Fernandina Beach City Commission Group 3 Candidate Forum with the Nassau County, Florida Chamber of Commerce. My name is Sean McGill. I'm a board member and a member of our Government Affairs Committee. I'd like to welcome you guys back again. Obviously, for those of you who have watched some of our county forums, you know that we're not in front of a live studio audience. We're Zooming, but it is being recorded live. There will be no edits. And as a recap, our candidates will have up to 5 minutes to introduce themselves to you. And then we will start a question and answer period. And in fairness to each of the candidates, we'll rotate through who answers each of the questions first. I'd like to introduce and welcome our City of Fernandina Beach City Commission Group 3 candidates, Mr. Wendell Mcgahee and Dr. Chip Ross. Mr. Mcgahee, why don't you go ahead and tell us a little bit about yourself?
All right, good morning. I'm glad to be here with you this morning, as well as Commissioner Ross. I am Wendell K. Mcgahee. I am a native of Fernandina Beach, Florida. I was born and raised right in Fernandina on the corner of Beach and 11th. I am the 8th generation of a family that set roots in Fernandina back in 1865 in what is known today as our historic Old Town community. My grandfather, Thomas Sterling Delaney, and grandmother, Sarah Delaney, came over from St. Mary's, Georgia, where most of my family had been slaves after emancipation in 1865 and set roots here. My grandfather, Thomas, later on became one of the first Black voters registrars at the time for Nassau County, as well as served in the state legislature. His son, my grandfather as well, Ray Samuel Delaney, he was notable in Fernandina Beach history as he was one of the first Black commissioners or council members on this town council back in the 1870s. So they were making strides way before I was thought about. And, because of them, I have this, this running through my veins, and I'm excited to carry on the legacy. As I said, that's 8 generations. I'm a proud graduate of Fernandina Beach High School class of 2013, where I was also voted most likely to be president my senior year. After graduating from Fernandina Beach High School, I furthered my education by attending Florida Agricultural Mechanical University in Tallahassee, Florida. I was a double major in philosophy and religion with a minor in political science. I served in my student government as a student senator. I was actually responsible for things such as the budget and allocating funds to the student body that we received from the state. So that gave me a great skill set and some knowledge as far as that can be used in my current office that I'm running for. I also, while in college, served as a legislative aide. I did 2 sessions in the Florida House of Representatives and a session in the Florida State Senate. Again, excellent experience to have to prepare me for a role such as city commissioner. Currently, I work in higher education as a case manager and career specialist at the Florida State College of Jacksonville, downtown Jacksonville, and locally in Fernandina, I work as the lead representative of Funerals by T.S. Warden. I'm located at 410 Beach Street. Funny story there, I actually started in the funeral business at 9 years old, washing cars and arranging flowers for services. So I've been serving my community as long as I can remember. Service, both of those industries, people are like, how do they go together? But they're both service-based. So that's what I stand on. My platform is time for somebody to represent, time for somebody to stand up and impart diversity and inclusion. It's been about 2 decades since we've had an African-American run for a city official here in Fernandina Beach, Florida. And I mean, this is the time for me to step up and make a change. It's time to have someone who cares about our youth and implements plans for youth development. It's time that we have someone that says it's enough of beating our residents over the head with taxes, and it's time that they're seen about and taken care of. It's time that we have someone that wants to maintain the historic preservation and just the special utopic feel of Amelia Island, Fernandina Beach. I mean, people didn't move here because it was just a hustle and bustling town. We moved here because it was special, and that's what we want to keep our grasp on, and that's what I want to maintain, as it is my home. And that is why to do this, I need the votes for November the 3rd for this seat for County Commissioner, Group 3. Once again, I'm Wendell Mcgahee. Thank you for that time.
Thank you, Mr. Mcgahee. Dr. Ross, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Sure. My name is Chip Ross, and I'm running to be reelected to the Group 3 City Commission seat. That seat encompasses all of the city. I'm running to represent all of our citizens. Faith, my wife of 31 years, and I live in the historic district downtown in a house that we renovated. We chose to move here and have live full-time in our house for the last 7 years. I seldom leave the island. This is our full-time home. I continue to work as a physician in the local emergency department, giving me a deep understanding of the health and safety needs of our community. 3 years ago, I was elected to the City Commission. At that time, I promised to fund fire, EMS, and police to keep us safe. I promised to maintain and improve the infrastructure, including sewer, water, roads, stormwater, sidewalks, and streetlights, and to pay the city's debts and fund pension obligations. I promised to conserve and protect our environmentally sensitive lands, to maintain our pristine beaches, and to get the marina repaired and running. I delivered on those promises. The city is safe and it functions. The marina has been rebuilt. Essential services have been maintained at a first-rate level. The beaches are clean and maintained. A path forward to revitalize the waterfront and protect the downtown from flooding is beginning to come together. During the last 3 years, I've spent 30 to 40 hours a week attending most of the city advisory committee meetings, port meetings, county commissioner meetings, and serving on the Tourist Development Council and the Nassau County Economic Development Board. I do my homework and come well prepared to city commission meetings. When I receive an email or a phone call, I usually respond within 48 hours. On multiple occasions, I go, and most of the time, go to where the problem is and meet with the constituent who has a challenge. I work with all constituents to solve problems and create opportunity. I believe all citizens should feel comfortable expressing their thoughts and their ideas. Although what they may want may not be feasible, they should have an explanation for the reason their desire cannot be accomplished at this time. I work with all constituents and try to reach out to all sides on any issue. I do not represent any one group, but try to bring all parties together to solve the challenges of our city. I believe in trying to reach consensus and craft solutions that are sustainable for the long term. If reelected, I will continue to spend the time and effort with all citizens to maintain and improve a great place to work and live.
Thank you, Dr. Ross. Okay, we'll start our questions now, and I'll go by alphabetical order of last name. So Mr. Mcgahee, you're on the hot seat first. And our first question is, what in your opinion is the single most important characteristic a person must have to be successful as a city commissioner?
I would have to say the single most characteristic would probably be trustworthiness. You want the community to know that you are someone that is going to do the best at the job. You want the community to know that they can trust you to have their best interests at heart. People don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. So I would just really have to say trustworthiness. It allows you to build a bond with the community. It allows people to see that you are genuine, that you'll cross those boundaries and do whatever it takes to make sure that that the people are done right by. And that would just be a trustworthiness. It's very important, vital, imperative.
Thank you, Mr. Mcgahee. Dr. Ross.
Could you repeat the question again?
Sure. What, in your opinion, is the single most important characteristic a person must have to be successful as a city commissioner?
I'm going to go with the Boy Scout motto. I was an Eagle Boy Scout. Be prepared. I think you need to be prepared and reach out to all people in the community and get the consensus of what different people want and how they can work together to come to a consensus on how to move forward. So being prepared makes you have all the information that's necessary to reasonably solve or approach any problems that come up in the city.
Thank you, Dr. Ross. And your question actually leads into my next question. So that works out well that you're on the hot seat first for this one, and is, as a commissioner, how do you handle, or would you handle, a conflict between a staff recommendation for a course of action versus what you're hearing that your constituents want? And tell me kind of how you would work through that process.
Well, let's take the example of the marina. That actually wasn't a staff recommendation. The staff recommendation for a new marina operator was to hire a new company. The board, the Marina Advisory Board, advised that they wanted to keep the current management. I spent hours looking into what was going on with the current management of the marina, and then reached out to all the new people who had applied to become the marina, and looked at their management experience, their marketing experience, their maintenance experience, to create a new opportunity down at the marina to bring the marina up to the first class facility that we need. So the way you resolve conflict is you reach out to both sides, get their opinion, and then see if we can work a consensus between the two.
Thank you, Dr. Ross. Mr. Mcgahee, how would you reconcile a difference in a recommendation from city staff versus what you're hearing from your constituents?
I would have to say, first, I would sit down with both parties, and get their perspective, see where it is that they're coming from. To have someone on the inside and then have the residents, it can sometimes it comes from two totally different perspectives, and you want to be able to understand both sides. From there, I would just have to really sit down and analyze the issue at hand, and simply use my best judgment. I think it's important that, which is one of my key points as well as to my campaign, to collaborate, to come together and try to find a middle ground, not to be too far left, not to be too far right, but kind of come to a place where we can come up with something together and implement that moving forward. I understand everyone isn't always going to be happy, but key is doing what's best for everyone. So I would just have to analyze the issue and use my best judgment moving forward with both perspectives.
Thank you, Mr. Mcgahee. And you're first for our next question here, which is that there are those that claim the city of Fernandina Beach is business unfriendly. And I'd like you to describe what a business friendly community would be to you.
I believe a business friendly community to me would simply be supporting. I mean, that's going to all ends to make sure that our small businesses are sustained. Once again, I'm a native of Fernandina. I grew up with still a small town feel that where we went downtown to shop at Mr. Pardon's to get shoes, and we went to ZZ Toys downtown. And downtown was still the center for a while that I remember. And so getting back to a community that we embrace our small town businesses, the small town business owners, we make sure that they have the resources that they need to thrive, even in times such as a pandemic, that we don't leave them alone. We don't leave them by themselves. We show them that we have that we are their backbone, and we'll do what we can to not only to maintain what they worked hard to establish, but to support them by all means. That would be a business friendly environment or community.
Thank you, Mr. Mcgahee. Dr. Ross, what is your version or view of a business-friendly community?
Business-friendly community is one that provides an infrastructure that reliably works, so that there's an environment that you can run your business, that makes a safe environment to operate your business, and a business where you can provide customers and foot traffic. One of the things that replacing the marina is to increase the foot traffic for the downtown. One of the reasons to accept the new management company is to market the city itself and bring in more customers for the downtown. The other concern that businesses have, and makes it business unfriendly, is then when they go to the TDC, the Technical Review Committee, to try to get a new business going, they often get one thing at the beginning of the process, and then it changes as things go on. One of the things that I've been working on is try to get it so that when anybody comes in to open a new business and change a site, is that upfront, all the requirements are agreed to by both sides, and so that they can reliably move forward with a plan in a swift way. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Ross. And the next question, we are starting with you. And that is, in regards to the budget process, do you feel it is the job of a city commissioner to take direction from staff regarding budgeting? And to kind of piggyback on that, what is the most efficient and thorough way to approach the budgeting and decision-making process?
The staff are, yes, you should take direction from the staff because they're the experts on what the budget should, but there should be priorities in the budget, and that's what the focus of the city commission should be. When you ask the city staff to produce a budget, they are to tell you what they need to produce the services that the city commission wishes them, the city, to provide. And so the function of a budgeting process is to say what the city commissioner is, to what is the priorities, and then go to the staff who are the experts in this and say, and they come back with a budget.
Thank you, Dr. Ross. Mr. Mcgahee, what do you feel is the job or role of the city commission in terms of taking direction from staff regarding budgeting, and how do you believe is the most efficient and thorough way to approach the budgeting and decision process?
I would have to say that, leaning to the staff is okay, and it is important, as we know, they have expertise there. However, I think it's important to just kind of go off your own skill set and kind of closely analyze things. That is always important, to look as in depth to the budgeting system as possible. We know that it is important to look at what we need the most, look at things that are essential to our community, and look into that budgeting system and see how that fits, where that fits, and then go from there to kind of dissect it or break it up and move forward. It is also important to remember that there are boundaries set, when even going forward making those decisions, or there are grounds that should just kind of be left up to the commissioner. I think that is a part of the job, but it's okay to seek out those expertise, but kind of keep things under tight reins and kind of move forward and make the best sound judgment once again, and knowing what is most important to our community.
Thank you, Mr. Mcgahee. Moving on to our next question, which you're on the hot seat for, Mr. Mcgahee, is the city manager recently requested funding from the county to help support our Parks and Recreation Department. Would you be in favor of consolidating this or any other department to reduce expenses or reduce the duplication of services?
I would say that in a sense, I'm a fan and supporter of working with what we already have. So by any means to sustain a commonplace or a good standing for our community, whether it's reaching out or doing as the city manager has done, by all means, if it's what's best for our community, I believe in doing it. But handling what we have, using our resources front hand, kind of not digging too much in other places, but kind of providing a balance for our city. That would be my main priority in the situation. So I would say that would be acceptable if that's what's best. That's always the goal.
Thank you, Mr. Mcgahee. Dr. Ross, would you be in favor of consolidating, whether it's Parks and Rec or any other department, to reduce expenses and consolidate services?
No. And the answer is, here's why. The Parks and Rec Department, for instance, is 18% of our budget. It's a $3.2 million. It's one of the reasons we pay more taxes in the city. The county has no Parks and Rec Department. They don't have all the resources. They don't have all the things that we have that people use here. Which is one of the reasons, which was the reason which I advocated that the city manager do go to the county commissioners to bring, to ask them for money to help support the citizens who don't live here to help pay for the uses of our Parks and Recreation Department. We have a great police department. I think it's and we have great EMS services. We have better response times. All those things, I think we would lose going to be part of the county. We have a special place here. We do it and have great services. We have a great workforce here. And I do not believe that we're only 14% of the total population of the island. I think we need to keep those services here and be able to control them for the benefit of our local citizens.
Thank you, Dr. Ross. Of course, this next question wouldn't be a Chamber of Commerce forum without asking one similar to this. So for Dr. Ross, what is your opinion of the role of the Chamber of Commerce in interacting with the City Commission?
That's a great question. I'm a member of the Chamber of Commerce. I come to your meetings. I think it needs to be collaborative, that the Chamber and the City Commissioners perhaps need to work together to and hear from the local businesses what kind of issues and challenges that they're having and how specifically that the city can help them. For instance, the Chamber came to the City Commission asking for protective equipment. The city provided money to buy masks and sanitizers. So those kinds of issues. So it's again a collaborative effort. If the local business community has issues or concerns, they should, through the chamber or individually, come and work with the City Commission and talk with them.
Thank you, Dr. Ross. Mr. Mcgahee, what is your opinion of the role of the Chamber of Commerce in interacting with the City Commission?
I believe the role of the Chamber of Commerce in interacting with City Commission simply comes down to hearing the voices of our businesses. Once again, sustaining those small town businesses that we have, which have become essential parts of our community. Hearing what it is that they need, what it is that they're short of, whatever is going to support them. Making sure that the commissioners and the commerce have an understanding by all means to go to all ends to make sure that they're taken care of. It's just that simple.
Thank you, Mr. Mcgahee. Okay, guys, you made it to the last question. And so take a deep breath, cleansing breath. And remember, we'll allow you 2 minutes for this answer to add in anything that you might want our members to know. And the question is this, simply for Mr. Mcgahee: why are you the best candidate for this position?
I would have to say I'm the best candidate for this position. Like I said, I am well qualified. I have a lot of experience, different skill sets that have built me up and made me well prepared to take on the role of City Commissioner. I'm a native. I have a native perspective. There is no one that I can think of that is in this on this ballot in Group 3 that cares more about Fernandina Beach than I do myself. I always tell people I don't care how great I become, where I go, Fernandina is home, and I'll do anything to see it in good standing. My work ethic speak for itself. As I continue to stay out in the community and continue to meet individuals, they know I am genuine, I am sincere, and I could go on all day about what makes me the perfect individual, but I'm trustworthy, I'm loyal, I'm dependable, and I am 100% in support of seeing Fernandina Beach grow, and be the best that it could be. We don't want to see it lose its special touch, and whatever I can do to maintain that, to preserve it, to keep it, to make sure that people are taken care of, that is what I'll do as long as I can do it. So that's about it for me. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Mcgahee. Dr. Ross, why are you the best candidate for this position?
Because I will devote the time and effort to build on my record of the last 2 years, to collaborate with all the citizens to ensure that the city remains a great place to live and work. If you vote for me, you know what you're going to get. An experienced, hardworking, well-prepared, well-spoken advocate for all the city's all the citizens of Fernandina Beach. My focus will continue to be representing all groups and ensuring the city remains vibrant, thriving, and attractive to both residents and businesses alike. I would appreciate your vote. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Dr. Ross. I'd like to thank both our Group 3 candidates for participating in our forum, Mr. Wendell Mcgahee and Dr. Chip Ross. I thank you guys for your leadership. No matter how the election turns out, our community needs folks like yourselves that are willing to serve the public. And I know folks like yourselves would like to be interacting more live with people. Unfortunately, you get to stare at a screen, but that's where we are right now. For our viewers, thank you for taking the time to learn more about our candidates and make an educated decision with your vote. If you would like to learn more information about our candidates, you can go to our candidate questionnaire at our website, NassauCountyFLChamber.com. Once again, NassauCountyFLChamber.com. I'd like to thank you for watching. Stay healthy, and remember to vote November 3rd or before, however you choose. Have a great day.